This week on the Fickle Fan Podcast, we talk a little Fight for the Fallen. We also get into some New Japan Wrestling, the G1 matches that's going on. We talk a little Raw, SmackDown review. How did WWE fare for this week? Did they set up good matches for Summerslam? And there may be a lost recording of a concerned fan who really misses Sasha Banks that someone sent in. All this and much, much more coming up on Fickle Fan Podcast, episode 16.
Fickle! They cheer him 1 minute, they don't care the next. Fickle! Fickle!
I was proven right about these fans being fickle.
Hey yo, it's JM and Yeeski. We watch wrestling weekly. I style it stone cold like Steve B. Believe me, I said believe me. Keep it so breezy. We make another shows uneasy when we come around. When we step behind the mic, awesome reactions with the fans every night. Like the man when she graces the ring. JM Yeeski Fickle Fan Podcast. Nah, I mean
Fickle! 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 Fickle!
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the 16th edition of the Fickle Fan Podcast. We have Yeeski here.
JM in the building.
What up, though? It's your boy Duke coming at you from the SmackDown Live. I'm not even live on SmackDown, but you know, I just thought I'd throw that in there.
If you live on SmackDown, you about an hour after, brother. You still in the stands.
I'm still in the stands.
But you will be close in about 3 weeks when
Yes,
SmackDown
sir.
Live comes to Detroit pre-SummerSlam.
I'm going there
That's right.
just
What up,
to
dope?
shake Bailey hand, and when I get some Bailey hand juice on my knuckles, I'm going to sell it on the internet for like $5. That's creepy, but somebody got to make this money somehow.
You gonna say what's up to Kairi Sane?
You know, that's if she on TV. She was on TV tonight, but you know, that might not be guaranteed in 3 weeks.
Well, listen, I mean, you got backstage pass, you know, you got backstage privileges, so I figured, you know, you should just say what's up, then come out to your seat, you know, say what's up to Vince if you back there.
You know, I might wear like my purple baller suit, just to try to impress her. We'll cross that bridge when the bridge.
Make sure you wear them. Make sure you wear purple gaiters with that.
All right. Do I put one gold tooth in or two?
Put the double gold tooth, boy.
Right.
And just make sure you don't wear a white shirt so they can't see your AEW shirt underneath.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
So this week we had a very busy weekend of wrestling, almost to the point of exhaustion. I know probably, I didn't watch all of it, but Duke watched all of it, so he might be a bit exhausted tonight. We had the New Japan G1 Climax continuation. We had Evolve 131. We had AEW's Fight for the Fallen. And then we have Extreme Rules. So let's start off with New Japan G1 Climax. Duke, I know you watched it. What was your take on it?
So, as of now, when we're recording, because apparently Japan thought it was cool to stream the third night during the Extreme Rules, and then the fourth night while I was at work. So Japan, we kind of beefed out about that. But man, like I'm watching the third night, so the night from Sunday or the night that took place during Extreme Rules, and the thing I gotta say is it looks like Hideo Itami hates. And as I'm speaking, he just beat Hiroshi Tanahashi by put a sleep to the face, and I just want to say I love Japan wrestling.
So you went from you beefed out to you love Japan wrestling.
Exactly. Look, I'm just saying I'm beefed out because you know y'all can't just be streaming whenever y'all decide to stream. Y'all stream when I'm at home not doing nothing.
They gonna stream. They streaming that sucker at 2:00 in the morning.
Exactly. Like I'm not awake. I got work in the morning. Hashi just gave Kenta or Hideo Itami just gave a great go to sleep to just the Japanese John Cena, and I approve of that. So I'll forget. All is forgiven.
All right. So that was probably, you're watching night 3, right? Yep. It looks like
That's night 3. So I didn't see night 4. So a bunch of craziness I'm probably missing out on, which I apologize about. But You know, it's G1.
I guess you can watch it after we finish recording.
Actually, about to start it right now.
Start at night 4? Okay. Well, don't get too distracted.
I won't.
He gonna pop for something.
Yeah, if you hear me, this is awesome. Fool, like you horrible fans was doing.
Oh my god.
Doing Raw.
Right.
Please forgive me.
Now let's move on to Evolve 131. He had a lot of infusion of NXT talent on that show, as it was set to counter program against AEW's Fight for the Fallen. How did you like the Evolve 131, Duke?
It was good, man. Like, Evolve got some amazing talent, and I gotta find out a way for me to be able to start keeping up with what those guys is doing in Evolve. Like, Jay, bro, it was one spot, a Spanish fly power bomb, and I don't know how you can do that, but they did it.
Oh, that's crazy, man.
Yeah, it's crazy, and like, they just got so many great talent. They got so many great NXT level talent, if not main roster talent, that I just want to make sure that I'm supporting them by watching them based off of nefarious means. So, like, yeah, Evolve was a great show. It was probably a little bit better than Fyter Fest, because every match besides the women's match lost my interest. Every match was great, and it was shorter than Fyter Fest. Fyter Fest felt like I was watching WrestleMania. So, yeah.
You mean Fight for the Fallen?
Oh yeah, fight for the Fallen.
You know, Cody would be very upset at you.
Yes, he would.
See, look,
it's too
this is
close.
why I don't work for Cody. I work for Vince. Vince pays me well, and Vince McMahon is a great booker.
Great booker.
Yeah, we appreciate you coming on the show, making your lunch money for the week too.
Yeah, you know, that $250 go a long way. I'm still trying to see if I can get a raise though.
So I'm guessing from your feedback that WWE or Evolve won the battle against AEW, based on your comments.
Well, I would still give it to Fight for the Fallen, because at the end of the day, it kept my attention more than Evolve did. But if I gave an equal watching to Fight for the Fallen, I cannot talk today. Sorry, I'm botching, but one take is all we're doing. If I gave equal attention to Evolve like I did Fight for the Fallen, then I would probably give it to Evolve. I'm just saying, based off of what I saw of Evolve, every match that I saw and every spot that I saw, it looks like Evolve was the better show.
Okay. So now let's talk about Fight for the Fallen. I know you watched it. I watched... Well, let's just say by the time I turned it on, it was the Lucha Brothers versus the SoCal SCU. What was your take on AEW on that match? The thing I did like was kind of the setup and how close some of the fans were, especially in a lot of the camera shots.
Yeah, like I was at Smack Draw podcast, shout out to them, was saying that they wasn't really feeling the setup. I really appreciated the setup, because like the arena looked full, and it wasn't like how it was with New Japan, where like they was in a 40,000 or 20,000 seated arena and they only filled about 4,000 seats. In a big arena, and what they filled up, they made look like it was filled full, even though they didn't fill that big of a number. I gotta say, Fight for the Fallen is probably my favorite AEW show out of all of them, simply based off of the Kenny Omega versus Cena match, because there was a lot of, like, I was Cena as a wrestler, but after that match, I could see that this man could go. And the Rhodes Brothers versus the Young Bucks, personally, that match touched me, not because they did anything extravagant, but because it was literally, and I don't even think this was on purpose, but it was the WWE style versus the Ring of Honor style. style versus the I'm gonna ground you and put you in a headlock for 30 minutes style. And I just thought that was very great storytelling told in that match, and I really appreciated it.
So I started watching when I saw the Lucha Brothers. I watched probably most of the Kenny Omega match against Cima. Then the Young Bucks started, and I got really bored. So I left and didn't come back to it. So I don't know what it is. I don't know. The Young Bucks just don't. I don't get the Young Bucks. I know some wrestling fans don't get the Young Bucks either. I definitely don't get Cody and Dustin Rhodes. And I think my hardest problem watching any of these AEW shows is that there's no really build for these matches.
Yeah.
So I don't even know why Young Bucks are fighting Cody and Dustin. I mean, they're executive vice presidents for the company, and I don't know why they decided to put themselves in a match, because they publicly announce themselves, call themselves as executive vice presidents, and yet they wrestle against each other in the main event of their shows.
Well, it was done. I mean, based off of the story, it was done because, it was just like a friendly rivalry. See who could be who. And then Cody decided to get Dustin as his tag team partner. And the Young Bucks was like, oh, you're getting Dustin? Well, let's make fun of you. So it became personal after that point. Hey, I came up to you and I was like, I need a brother. And, it was because I was making fun of Cody and Dustin, and Bucks making fun of them. So Cody and Dustin was like, "Oh, people are making fun of us now because the Young Bucks made fun of us. Then let's make this fight a little bit more personal." And you don't see that all of that interaction unless you watch all three of their YouTube channels: Cody Rhodes' YouTube channel, on the Young Bucks YouTube channel, and some of AEW's content. You won't see all of that unless you're subscribed to.
So basically,
YouTube.
They're building it up on their YouTube channels.
Exactly.
Okay.
And a lot of people don't got time to watch these at least 30 minutes of footage every week to see what's going on with the build up for all these shows. I barely had time to do it.
You talking about being the elite?
Yeah, being the elite and Cody Rhodes' channel, the Nightmare Family.
Okay.
Yeah, I've never watched their YouTube channel.
I have not. I was going to at one point, but it's a lot, man, to keep up with all this stuff. Like you said, it's just the timing factor.
And I'm over here stretching out. Like G1 Climax, they just did 2 shows in a row, and that's impossible. Only WWE, the greatest company of all, could do stuff like that. And going back to a Fight for the Fallen, another match I really appreciated was Hangman Page versus Jabroni number 7. Number 7 can go, man. He is a good wrestler. I don't know who he is. I don't know where he comes from, but he's great. So I'm sorry that I'm disrespecting you by calling you a jabroni, but you're only a jabroni because I never heard of you before. But I want to make sure that I know who you are in the future based off of what you did with Hangman Page. And Hangman Page, I'm officially sold on you. You're the second coming of JBL, and I think that you got a bright future ahead of you.
Yeah, he probably gonna be the inaugural AEW champion. I wouldn't even doubt that.
And I still think it should go to Chris Jericho because Yeeski made the great point that Chris Jericho is going to bring more eyes on the TV at the end of the day.
Plus, he can chase.
But Hangman Page, man, you can go, and I love how you move. I love how stiff you are. And I love how you just took that beating from Chris Jericho. This man had a black eye. He was cut up pretty bad from the beating he took from Chris Jericho, and it just sold the story for me.
No, I just took a look at the Being the Elite YouTube views. So their episode, I think yesterday, had 238,000 views. But that pales to R-Truth invading Drake Maverick's hotel room at 1.6 million views. Now the one thing I did appreciate about AEW was it was one of the buy-in matches with our friend Dr. Britt Baker, also known as the girlfriend of Adam Cole.
Yes.
And she had a quite comical botch where she went for a hot tag, but she ran to the wrong corner and then had to charge back to the opposite corner on the tag. And then she got rewarded later with a bad concussion.
Wow, so she pulled an Eva Marie.
Yeah. But I think it was very bad because she was on the other side of the ring, came running, charging to that ring, and then got there and wrong one. And then I think got redirected to the opposite corner. So
botches happen everywhere.
But I don't know if she got kicked in the head first, or is that pre-kicked to the head or post-kicked to the head.
Oh.
But evidently she's got a severe concussion now.
I'm sorry to hear that. But look, Dr. Britt Baker, I work in the medical field. I don't work in the dentist's office. But if you're looking for medical talent, as long as Vince McMahon is okay with it, I'm just saying, my resume is at Indeed.com at SwaggerBoy77. And if you're looking for a great medical talent, please hit me up.
I'm sure she'll have somebody by the name of Adam Cole, baby, be her interview person.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, man. So when did they... Is the Nick... Oh. Is Cody Rhodes and Goldust referred to as the Brotherhood?
I honestly don't know. I just been calling them the Rhodes Bros.
Rhodes Bros. Oh, no. Okay. I think that's from WWE. Okay. Anyhow, so, going into the weekend, I think a lot of people thought that AEW Fight for the Fallen was going to be the best wrestling event of the weekend. And yet somehow Vince McMahon pulls a rabbit out of his hat when you least expect it. And out they churn Extreme Rules. I know most of us didn't have a lot of hype interest going in for a lot of the matches, especially the Undertaker Roman Reigns match. But boy, did they ever deliver on pretty much almost the entire card in every match throughout the card. So what was your appreciation coming out of the Extreme Rules? And do you think it was the best? Well, I guess JM, you definitely think it was the best because it's the only one you watched. Duke, was it the best show that you watched this weekend?
I would say yeah, because the only match that I didn't care for was the Bobby Lashley versus Braun Strowman match. And I went into the Roman Reigns and Undertaker tag team match thinking that it wasn't going to be that great, but I came out of it like, this is awesome. And Extreme Rules, even when it died down at the last half of the show, when the fans died down, I still appreciated it.
Yeah. And let's talk about the Undertaker match. Most of us kind of put the nail in the coffin. We're like, we never want to see the Undertaker again. He could never wrestle again. And people said, Roman Reigns and Undertaker would never work. And yet they came out smelling like roses. The Undertaker looked miles faster than he was at Super Showdown. Outside of a couple, I think, is clotheslines. Everything else the Undertaker did was great. Some of the visuals, especially at the end when you see, Drew McIntyre rising up behind the Undertaker, and right when he's ready to claymore the Undertaker, Roman Reigns comes in and spears him.
Right. The spot right there was just great. Because Yeeski, you said it when we was watching it live that Roman in the take at all. We didn't see him like staring at the hard camera, waiting for his spot to happen. Like we just saw him come out of nowhere with the spear.
Yeah.
That match. I definitely went into it like I don't want to see the Undertaker anymore, and I was one of those ones. Like this was my least liked match that going into it, and it definitely changed my mind. Probably. I would say maybe like 5 or 10 minutes in, or 5 minutes into that match, probably. I was like, okay, they got my attention now, and it did work. Undertaker in a tag team format is probably best, depending on who his opponent is in a singles match. But I like them in this tag team format, especially wrestling Roman, who we got history with him. Quote unquote retiring him, and that whole dynamic. And so and I mean, even with Shane, he got the chemistry with Undertaker. They got a history. Drew got shined. Everybody got over in that match, in my opinion. And so it was a great match, man. It was a really great match. I had low expectations for that match going in, but I came out with very high likeness for it.
Yeah, and even at the end, I think the Undertaker actually gave props to Roman, and he mouthed the words, "It's your yard now," to Roman, as he gave him the pat.
Well, getting the rub from Taker, but
exactly,
he's still gonna get booed. Even though tonight is what he did, he got some cheers for that. But anyway, that was pretty loud.
Now let's move back. Actually, let's jump backwards in time to the pre-show, because we had a belt title change where he had the IC Championship match where he had Nakamura defeat Finn Balor, and I believe this moves at least Nakamura on TV. He is now 4-0 or something like that against Finn Balor, undefeated against Finn Balor.
Okay, first of all, is disrespectful for the Intercontinental Championship match to be on the pre-show. Okay, we think about all the history of IC champions that has held that belt, and you're gonna tell me that championship match is on a pre-show of a pay-per-view? Very disrespectful. Now, with that out the way, that match was a pretty good match. They have pretty good chemistry in the ring. I think the match between those two could be better, but I'm sitting here as a non-wrestler saying that about two very, very excellent pro wrestlers, so take it with a grain of salt what I'm saying. But as a fan, I know that these two, and with their history and their athleticism and what they bring to the table, can put on an epic classic match. And that wasn't it, but it was a good match for what it was. Pretty short though. I think they got into the match, into like the meat of their match pretty quick. Wasn't really any like build up to a crescendo, so to speak. So yep.
Yeah, we was talking about that. Like it's weird because it's like to Samoa Joe, which happens later tonight. This man Kofi Kingston almost got his middle finger broken off by a steer. And both wrestlers to be tired during that match. But when you look at Shinsuke Nakamura versus Finn Balor, I don't even know what I just said, but basically top tier wrestlers be tired after 10 minutes to the point where one or two finishers can knock them out. It's just weird to watch. It's like it's wrestling at the end of the day, so you just gotta take it with a grain of salt. But still, it's like it just doesn't seem right. Shinsuke Nakamura beating Finn Balor in a 10-minute match when these guys have fought before, and that time, and even on SmackDown, I think they went over 10 minutes. So.
Well, I think as long as he gets his Kinshasa, and he got him in the back of the head and then the front, so
Kinshasa.
So I can buy that. And it looks like they're. We'll talk about it next when we talk to their Summerslam road. So it looks like that was a very quickie a little quick series of matches, and now they're on their separate paths to SummerSlam.
Right.
So our next match is the Cruiserweight Championship match. We had Drew Gulak retain against Tony Nese. Any comments on that match?
That was a great match.
It was a great match. Tony Nese could go, but Drew Gulak, I guess because I understand him, and every time he's on TV, I just happen to see. I think that Tony Nese carried that match. I'm sorry, not Tony Nese. Drew Gulak carried that match, and Tony Nese was just there just to do flips. I'm not hoping Tony Nese is going to step it up in terms of his character. Like, he needs to be a little bit more than just athletic man with a six pack.
Yeah, that's I mean, the 205 guys always do their thing, man. It's always an exciting match between and 205 guys, and those two, we've seen it a couple of times before with those guys, and they did what they could in the slot that they got. Hopefully one day 205 will get off the pre-show, but in this case they were on it, and they did their thing in this match. I really liked the match. I actually forgot that match was going to happen. But when I seen it, I'm like, okay, I already know that they're gonna tear the house down, and they did it. They did a good job.
Right. And the hard part is when we talked about the IC match and this Cruiserweight match. It's actually not that easy if you were to look at the full card and tell me which matches you would put on the pre-show instead of it.
It's only about 2 matches that you could really substitute out of it, which is the Kevin Owens versus Dolph Ziggler and the Bobby Lashley versus Braun Strowman.
Yeah, but not for what they were gonna do, because that was the storyline. You couldn't do that in the pre-show.
Exactly.
What KO did. And then Strowman and Lashley, I think the fans were really into that match. We'll get to it later. And I think those are names that would draw people to watch. Even if the match was bad, there's probably a lot of people who want to get these hands, so they just watch whatever Strowman does, even if he does the same thing over and over again. They're still popping big for that. So we move on, and we actually go into the show. We had No Holds Bar. We talked about that match. Then we had the Raw Tag Team Championship match, where the Revival was able to defeat the Usos to retain. How did you like that one?
That was a dope match. Or what all took place during that match, but what really got me, what really popped me was the finish of that match. They something to one of the Usos, and they set the other Uso up for a shadow machine, and it just happened all in one smooth motion, and I just thought that was perfect.
Yeah, the chemistry between them two, we already know that they can go, and this is according to Dawson, this is the 3rd match for them that they've had in just normal tag team situations, and all 3 matches they had are all great matches between them. You can always expect a great match between these 2 teams. Usos, we know, is one of the best, if not the best tag team in the world. The top guys think they're the best tag team in the world, and so when you got two teams like that has that confidence like that, and I'm sure they got much respect for each other for what they do. 2 different styles of what they do, but it meshes well, and this match was a great match.
Yeah.
But of course, we had Michael Cole overselling it as the greatest rivalry tag team.
Yeah, greatest rivalry, and they only had 3 matches. Like, come on, bro. Like
I can think of like 5 Uso feuds that's been better than this one so far. Like, I don't pay you enough for this.
All right, let's move on to our next match. We have the re-debut of Aleister Black. He goes against Cesaro after waiting for weeks and weeks in a dark room, and he finally defeats Cesaro.
That was a great match too between those two. I like those two going up against each other, and obviously this is the first time we've seen this, right, between those two.
They might have had a
NXT?
feud in Evolve. In Evolve.
Evolve. Okay, well, on WWE programming, it's the first time, and so similar builds as far as height, size. Cesaro might be a tad bit bigger, and maybe an inch or two taller, but they fit very well. Also, two different styles. Obviously, Aleister Black with the martial arts and what you call like MMA style type background with his stuff, and Cesaro is just strong. That dude can do a whole that dude can just do, I don't really know even how to describe it. That guy is he's ridiculous at what he can do in the ring, plus just athletic. That dude can, he just jumping off the ropes and mid rope, second rope, top rope, all the stuff, different slams that he do, uppercuts. He's just crazy. So those styles fit well, and that's an exciting rivalry that can go the distance if they do that right. Because I like that.
Well, it looks
Cesaro
like
got that.
Yeah, go ahead, Duke. Yeah.
To say Cesaro just got that old man strength where you just you see an old man and you got to shake his hand, but when you shake his hand, he gonna have the strength of the American military from Vietnam.
Yeah, come on, young buck. Come on, young buck.
Right.
Put it
shake
there.
my hand. Yeah, it's like, man, you better let go of my hand before I put you in the hospital.
That's a strong handshake right there.
Right there, young blood. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, you better go back to the Vietnam with all that. That's that Cesaro strength.
I was very impressed by Cesaro when Aleister Black went up to the top and tried to do Meteora on Cesaro, and Cesaro basically caught him on his shoulders and then European uppercut him.
Yeah,
it was smooth motion.
So many great European uppercuts. Like, those were probably the best European uppercuts known to man.
I think Cesaro is going to be like the next guy when Vince or whoever decides to actually finally push him to the moon. Fans appreciate when you have these feats of strength, especially when you're not as big as Braun Strowman and you're able to do Braun-like stuff.
Yep. He can. He could be huge, man.
Him being the next Jinder Mahal in a good way for SmackDown.
Yeah. But in a weird way, once again, we've been used to WWE rerunning matches over and over and over again. And once again, it looks like these two guys are headed on their own separate paths to SummerSlam as well.
Right.
Weird. So moving on to our next match. Unfortunately, we had Bayley defeat Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross.
So you said fortunately?
Unfortunately. Very unfortunately.
I think I heard you say fortunately.
No. It was unfortunate, but it moved me to buy Alexa Bliss shirt. So it all worked out.
For like her struggle as a woman to not be able to beat such a beautiful and powerful woman such as Bayley?
Nah, it's all booked. We all know. If you were to take all three of them, the real winner would be Alexa, because she's probably got the biggest mean streak out of all three of them.
Yeah, that's true.
Real life. In real life.
No, Bayley looked like one of those girls that's like, that act nice, but it's really mean and will hurt your feelings. I feel like Alexa Bliss is a genuine, nice person.
She might be, yeah. She might be a really nice person. So what did you think about that? And then, and still this entire thing, like pre-show, before this, we had the Street Profits run into Alexa and Nikki Cross.
Well, the Street Profits are hilarious, man. I want to see them on a main roster match at some point. Can I see them against the Usos? But that's neither here nor there. The running into them was pretty hilarious. Because the Street Profits always keep it 100, always keep it live. But the match was pretty good. I haven't been a fan of Bayley's title run at all, but I do like the chemistry between Nikki and Alexa. Still don't know, where that's going. But the match itself, they had a couple of good spots. Alexa is good in the ring. Obviously, we talked about her the finishing move with the Twisted Bliss. That she does, which is always a wonder to see. And it was good for what it was.
No, I know, Jam, you were very disappointed in the match because you were expecting a certain person's music to hit at some point during the match, and all we got was silence.
Yeah, I heard something online about somebody recording stuff about that and said that they wished that she was coming out during then. And I think it's on YouTube. I heard about it. So yeah, about this certain person that I won't name.
This person, I think, is actually someone we know, and is very. He may even be here as we speak, but I'm not gonna.
He tapping into our line.
Yeah. But you gotta. We're like AEW. You just gotta go check out the YouTube channel, which is, I forgot the name of our YouTube channel.
It's the WWF Anonymous YouTube channel.
Yeah. What he said.
Yeah,
and you may be able to hear this desperate man's plea for Sasha Banks to come back to the ring.
Yes, he sounds very desperate. But yes, I personally thought that it could happen, and it did not happen. But before that, I had told y'all that I set my expectations low because I know WWE. We all know WWE, and we also know our own fantasy booking. So that's what I wanted to happen. Don't necessarily mean it would happen, even though it would have been a perfect spot for it to, and it didn't. So disappointed, but I moved on.
And you know what? Like, I felt genuinely positive about this match. Like, I thought it was going to be a match where I can play some Fire Emblem or some Zelda on my phone.
Mm-hmm.
But it came out way better than I thought. Like, I'm happy that Bayley got a win in a handicap match, which is rare.
Yeah, it does show that it makes her stronger that she won
Exactly.
2 people.
Like, that definitely put her over. Like, we know Bayley can go in the ring, especially when she gets an opponent like Sasha Banks, who is ignoring us. But, like, I know, like, survivor's mentality for Bayley in a while, and it finally came out in this match, and it was a great match. Really surprised, I thought Alexa Bliss was going to turn on Nikki Cross at the end of this match. But it seems like Alexa Bliss genuinely cared for her friend that she's been using for the past couple of weeks, and I thought I'm looking forward to seeing what they go do with that.
Oh, easy. Nikki say Alexa's not using her. She genuinely has her best interest at heart.
And it makes me think maybe she genuinely does have her best interest at heart when she makes her wear Alexa Bliss merchandise.
Right.
All right,
Yeah.
So moving on to our next match, we had the Braun Strowman, where he was able to defeat Bobby Lashley yet again in a last man standing match.
To take a term from JR, the legendary JR, it was a slobber knocker, as he would say. 2 big guys slugging it out, going at it. They put a lot of effort in, man. I actually personally liked this match. The end spot was kind of contrived, in my opinion, because, the big black box sitting there for no apparent reason. And they were going that way. We kind of seen it coming. But everything before that, it was just a slugfest between those two. And, that's something that you weren't going to get from any other match but this one. So they had a niche for it. And they filled that niche between those two. And so I enjoyed that match.
Yeah, like I did not enjoy the match. I just thought it was a match. Like, all it was that match felt like every 2K False Count Anywhere match I've done in the games. Like, oh, look, I'm in the crowd, and the crowd is doing the same generic poses. what I did appreciate about that match was the fans. The fans was overhyped about that match. You would have thought this was Ric Flair versus Dragon Steamboat back in the 80s, how hyped they were.
Yep.
Then again, you get on Twitter, you get on social media, these same fans that are so hyped will probably be the first ones to call that the weakest match of the night.
Of course they were.
It just goes to show how fickle. Can I get a fickle later in the editing, Jay?
Absolutely.
The fans are. So I personally didn't care for the match, but I'm glad that the fans that was watching the match live had fun with it.
Yeah. WWE did a good job of misleading me to possibly think Lashley was going to win. So it kept me on the edge of my seat, hoping for that. And then my hope was dashed.
By the way, I stopped myself from popping. I'm watching the G1 Climax, and this guy named Juice Robinson, which is basically the Dolph Ziggler of New Japan. I can't think of my man's name. He's fighting this guy whose nickname is the Samurai. So Juice has a move where he throws a stiff left-hand punch, similar to the women's right.
I was about to say that. Is it the women's left?
Yeah, basically, what the Juice is left.
Yeah,
but it's of course, but the opponent he was fighting blocked it by headbutting his hand, and that was a big spot. So instead of like punching him in the face or blocking it with his arms, he headbutted it with his head, and the whole match he's just been headbutting Juice. So it's just kind of fun to watch.
Sounds safe.
They made it work. Nobody's hand is broken.
That sounds safe. Yeah.
All right, let's move on to the SmackDown Tag Team Championship match. So we have New Day winning the titles off of Rowan and Daniel Bryan and Heavy Machinery.
They all got
How'd you
over
like
that
that? Yes, they did.
All of them. I like that match. Big things for Heavy Machinery, man, if they keep, pushing them like that and putting them in matches on TV. It was good for them to be on the pay-per-view. Obviously, New Day is New Day. They always going to get pops and do what they do. I like Daniel Bryan and Rowan together. That was a perfect match. And all three of them in the ring brought just different things to the match. We all know Otis and Tuck, man. They bring a lot of comedy relief, but they can go in the ring too. Two athletic dudes to be so big. And Woods and Big E together, and it really don't matter. That's why New Day is so unique, because it doesn't matter which combination of them. They are definitely Freebird-esque, because it don't matter what combination of the two you get. They're going to put on a show. Yep. So I enjoyed that match too.
How did you like the finish there? Because the finish gave us a little side of the serious, angry Big E.
Yeah, I like that, man. I like seeing that every now and then from any one of them, because we see that subtly sometimes with them. I like an angry Big E telling people to step up, sucker, like you said, sometimes. Come on, sucker. Yeah. Like I like that Big E.
Any thoughts, Duke?
Yeah, I gotta say that was my favorite part of the match, was when was it Daniel Bryan? I think Daniel Bryan was giving him these stiff kicks.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like Daniel Bryan was kicking Smite, and he just stepped up to homie like, give me more. And then it was reminiscent of where Kofi Kingston was doing that gauntlet match, and he was on a 5-win winning streak, and down he was like, no, you gonna fight me like a man.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And it just kind of reminded me of the good times with Kofi Kingston when he did that. And I didn't expect the New Day to come out with the W. They got the win, and that's what, they're six-time tag champions right now.
Yes, six time. Yeah.
And they it's just amazing that the WWE is still willing to put titles on them, even though they've been champions this often. I was thinking that it was going to be Heavy Machinery Day because there was, WWE been building new talent.
Yeah.
But Heavy Machinery, I'm kind of glad they're not tag champions, especially if they keep talking about paying your taxes on time. Like, man, get these jabronis out of here.
Not yet. Yes, Tucker, please stop with the 1986 blue collar. Was it blue collar strong?
Yeah, blue collar strong.
I mean, that's some straight up generic, 88 WWF Saturday morning eat your Wheaties type situation going on there.
Exactly. Like, that got Flintstone vitamins written all over it. Like, I love Otis. I love Tucker. They were hyping NXT. This man Otis, he looks like what you call that? A British bulldog? A bulldog? He looks like a human British bulldog with a bulldog off of Tom and Jerry. And he gyrates just like a dog doing something stupid. So I love watching them. Whole promo with them, like, we're blue collar strong and we like steaks and meat or steaks and beats.
Steaks and weights, right?
Like, yeah. Go say that for your mama. But either way, those guys could go in the ring. Yeah. I love their tag team finisher move.
Yes.
It's unique. And Tucker, he even added an extra little splash at the end of it, which makes it even more impactful. And Brian, is what can you say that hasn't already been said about them already? They're great. They got great chemistry as a tag team. But New Day got the win, and it was a great match.
And I agree. And basically, I'm interested to see what Heavy Machinery does when he runs into the alumni of Raw next week.
I'm not going to say anything because I mentioned that in my rant as well. So we'll see what I say about that. Not them in particular, just talent in general.
Yes, but I think it was a USA Network idea to spike the ratings so they can sell the commercial time for the fall. Anyway, moving on to the United States Championship match. AJ Styles defeats Ricochet and takes his US Championship belt with minimal club interference. There was some, but not that much.
That was match of the night. And I'm sorry, Yeeski, please don't hate me, but John Moxley, formerly known as Dean Ambrose, just did his old finishing move at G1 where he used to do a running knee strike. He just did that, and that was pretty cool. But AJ Styles versus Ricochet. By the way, there's a track called Wrestle Rap, mixed and mastered by JM himself. We're basically going after you, Josiah Williams. You think you're the only one who can rap about wrestlers? Your boy Duke got bars too, and you can expect that to be on its way pretty soon. But with that being said,
he just cut a promo on himself.
I got more where that came from, but we're gonna save it. AJ Styles, man, that match was great. And again, it just came down to that great finish. This man, AJ Styles, did a reverse Styles class off the middle rope on Ricochet after setting Ricochet up in a crazy position.
That was sick.
And I'm so glad Ricochet knows how to, protect his neck like he the Wu-Tang Clan.
Right. Everything
could have went wrong with that spot, but he still did it safely. And AJ Styles, man, it's like every time I think I've seen dude, he always proves me wrong. And AJ Styles, he's still got it, even though he like getting up there in age.
AJ Styles is like the professional's professional in so many ways. I mean, he can make somebody that's not really that good in the ring look awesome in the ring. And obviously I'm not talking about Ricochet. I'm just saying if he was in the ring with somebody that, I mean, as the saying goes, he can wrestle with a broom and make it look good. I believe I heard JR say that about him.
Right.
And you got a match with Ricochet, who's also an awesome talent, younger dude, and both of them together is going to be fireworks.
Wait. I'm sorry. I'm tired of people saying this man Ricochet is a younger dude. This man Ricochet is mid-30s.
Younger than AJ.
Younger than AJ.
Yeah.
Once you hit 30 as an athlete, that means
I ain't saying he no young whippersnapper. 22. Nothing like that. No, younger than AJ. He is.
Okay.
Yeah, and to see him do that Styles Clash off the ropes backwards like that, man. What that made me think about when he was about to do the Styles Clash on Ellsworth, and he protected him because Ellsworth had his head hanging. And it's just stuff like that where he is like a technician when it comes to that stuff, and he protects the people in the ring with the stuff that he does. And it's probably nobody on this earth that don't want to work with AJ Styles. It's just little stuff like that you see that he can do. And so when people if they talking in the back or however how that works, because obviously we don't write or mean in the back, but assuming this is how it works, hey, I want to take this spot, okay, I'm sure anything with AJ Styles they like, that's cool. So I just like the fact that he's a professional like that. But I'm loving this AJ Styles. Heel AJ Styles are gonna beat up anybody I see. The club looks strong. They actually, Gallows and Anderson look stronger now than they have at any point in their WWE run. Now, and I don't know what it is about that, but they look like relentless. Like they gonna come in and beat up anybody that they see. I don't think I saw that before from them.
Did you see they when they debuted? I don't know if you came back yet.
I saw when they debuted.
Oh, did they? So you saying they look stronger than? They look stronger
now than they did then.
Some strong words, because they was bodying the Usos at that point.
It's something about them now, where, and I don't know if it obviously it has to do with AJ being there too, and his attitude as well. But I think they're just going to get more heel-esque as time goes on and look stronger. I think we're going to see some big things out of them. But yeah, that match between them was between them and him and Ricochet was awesome.
It's that Bullet Club mentality. I think that's all it comes down to. The things that got them over in Japan is coming out now.
Yes, and they need to keep doing it.
Yeah, and I think they're going to only go up. So, I mean, they're fighting for the U.S. Championship match. Next is probably, I'm guessing if Seth wins it back, it's probably going to go after the Universal Championship.
Yep.
So it'll only elevate them as they go further. So our next match is a last-second match that was added with KO versus Dolph Ziggler. And I can recap the match for you. Slap, kick, stunner.
Done.
And that was it.
Yes.
Done. That was it.
Good old Ziggs doing the J-O-B as he does the best.
I was so conflicted with this because Dolph Ziggler is one of my favorite wrestlers in this modern age, and Kevin Owens is one of my favorite wrestlers. So, and part of me was very angry.
The only thing I'll give it is that it was so short that it can't even be considered a squash.
Yeah.
And it kind of protects the finisher, that stunner. Like an RKO. Like you expect if you somehow RKO someone right off the bat, the match is over. Same thing for the stunner.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's a good point, yeah. You sleep at night.
Helps you sleep. And it almost scared you again today. Because he almost did it again today on SmackDown. So.
Yep. See, I miss SmackDown, but thank you for the spoilers, Yeeski. Gosh. No, I'm joking.
In our next segment, we're going to spoil everything for you on SmackDown. So just hang tight for like a couple more minutes. Let's move on to the WWE Championship match. Kofi Kingston defeats Samoa Joe and retains his belt with a Trouble in Paradise.
One day, Samoa Joe. One day, man.
Okay.
One day. Just not now. I don't know when. But one day, man, you're going to have a championship run, a well-deserved championship run, because let's face it, nobody cuts promos in this climate of WWE today like Samoa Joe. And you can even say in pro wrestling, that dude cuts promos intense. He's always intense.
Yeah. And then like in person, he's just a chill dude. Like he's he's just a cool guy. So just to be that intense in a promo, making me worried about my wife that I don't have, like
like he gonna show up at your door and choke you out.
Right. When I'm worried about, it's two things that I fear. Man, drowning in water, because they say we can't swim, and two, the fat muscular arms of Samoa Joe. Like those things frighten me, because this man puts everybody to sleep and still lose. How you put somebody to sleep and still lose?
Right. He take that L, but he ain't taking it fully. He coming for you.
Exactly.
Coquina Clutch is coming next.
But no, it was some great spots in that match though. Like you had the spot where Kofi Kingston was going for a dive off the ropes, and Samoa Joe just nonchalantly walks out the way. It's just cool. And
he phased out the way like Noctis.
Exactly. He just fades out the way. And then you had a spot where Samoa Joe was going for a sleeper chokehold, but before he could get it in, Kofi Kingston was using the ropes to leverage him out of the chokehold. So instead of letting him leverage himself out, Samoa Joe just slams him to the floor. Minutes of the match, because when Kofi Kingston got back up, he was able to, I think what happened, he Irish ripped Samoa Joe and then hit a trouble in Paradise out of nowhere, which I was surprised about, because like you need a good decent amount of space to make you look good. Get hit it out of nowhere. It's just that he's that fast.
Yep, timing was on point.
Yeah.
And the weird part about Samoa Joe is that he is a man who does not lack for confidence.
No.
Even though he loses every title match he's been in so far, at least for the top title. I think he's 0-8 now, but he still carries himself with a great deal of confidence. So
yeah. Like one of the times I was scared for Brock Lesnar when he was the champion, even though he's champion now. Spoiler alert. Was when he went up against Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe put Paul Heyman to sleep, so I thought Samoa Joe was gonna pull up on his family and put them to sleep.
Dude, he was like, "You're going to feel something now."
And it's okay.
It's okay.
He start fixing his tie. Yes. Like, dang, man. Like, if you gonna kill me, just kill me, bro. Like, don't fix my tie for me. Don't make sure I look good when I die. Just kill me. I ain't worried about it once I'm dead, bro.
That is signs of an excellent heel right there.
So let's move on to our final pre-planned match. It was both the Women's Raw Championship title and the Universal title up for grabs. We had Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch versus Corbin and Lacey Evans. And of course, we, as predicted, well, at least I think JM thought it was going to be, they're going to swerve us, but Seth Rollins and Becky, of course, retains the belt. But I will say, here's my question. Should the WWE have teased Baron Corbin's end of days on Becky prior to this?
Teased it? No. They did it excellently the way that they did.
Because I'll admit, the people popped. The fans popped when Becky got hit with the end of days.
Yep.
We all popped.
Yes, we did. It was hilarious, man. Hey, listen, the thing I want to say about this, the two things. One, that right there was probably the moment of the night, was Baron Corbin hitting the end of days on Becky. And two, the Baron Corbin and Lacey Evans naysayers need to be quiet. because they both did awesome in that match for what they do. I've always been a Baron Corbin fan. I just don't like his attire, and I think that's what a lot of people's beef is. I mean, yeah, let's face it, the dude look like a waiter, and we all know that. But I've always liked Baron Corbin. His the way he carry himself. He a big dude, athletic guy. His moves, I mean, the setup move and the finishing move is awesome. And Lacey, man, she's a heel. She is a heel, like a heel's heel all the time. How many people in WWE still do that? Like, where they just a heel all the time? Like, not too many people. So she definitely gets points on my board for that. She on the come up, man. Obviously, we know she still a tad green in the ring. If she tighten that up, man, she could be a real big superstar. But she on her way.
That's only gonna come naturally with just years, get a years under your belt. So
especially being in the ring with people that she in the ring with, that's going to come.
Yeah, like I just want to say, shame on you, cameraman. It was a very odd spot that even ended up on Reddit where Lacey Evans was just clearly trying to show how she had her opponent's name on her bottom, but the cameraman took advantage of that situation and got a little bit too, indecent. Shame on you, cameraman.
Yeah,
Lacey Evans is a mother of America,
a Marine,
and a Marine. So, be respectful. This is not Japan, and we respect women. It's 2019.
Yes, I think that the cameraman took liberties.
He took too much liberty, like he took Boston Tea Party levels of liberty.
Yes, he did.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
That end of days was a hot moment. All the candlestick spots was very nice. Mm-hmm. The table spot was kind of awkward because it took forever for them to do.
That was the only thing. That table spot was awkward.
Yeah.
Yes.
But
especially when they needed to work together to do get a table set up. Normally, one grabs one, the other grabs the other, but no, they have to work together as a pair.
Dude, I just thought about this was today, and I was like, what if? So they sat them both on two separate tables, right?
Right.
So what if Seth Rollins reversed suplex Becky into Lacey, and then how he rolls into another suplex, but then he does like a backflip on Baron Corbin if they did it that way?
Oh, that would be nice. Well, Seth Rollins' knees don't work no more. That would be nice though.
That's too high a spot for Becky.
Yeah. Oh wow, slander. We're gonna talk about all the slander that you've been sending in the group chat later, Yeeski.
We'll talk about that when we get to the Women's Raw Championship match for SummerSlam.
All right.
Of course, that match, the tag team match, is basically just set up for the cash in for Brock Lesnar. And once again, the crowd, even though they don't want Brock, they still pop when Brock comes out, cashes in, F5s Rollins, and takes his Universal Championship back.
Hey, I can't blame him, man. Seth's run has been dry.
Man. This is a lot of slander.
I think the entire run with Becky just killed Seth Rollins.
Yes.
It killed Becky.
Come on, man. You're supposed to be the architect. You know what I mean? The beast slayer. And here you are running around wooing, your girl on WWE programming like you Spanky from Little Rascals. and running around like that. It's like, come on, bro. Like, really?
Yeah.
So are you happy Brock took the belt back?
Yes. And I'm not a Brock fan. You know this. But I was happy about that.
Now, was it because... Go ahead.
I was about to say, I don't know if I'm happy or... to be honest, my natural emotion was that I was upset. Because to me, even though it hasn't been the best run for Seth Rollins, I still like Seth Rollins as a performer. Like, after like they probably was going to separate. He was going to separate from Becky, being on screen. So we probably would have got the stuff that we was looking for.
Yeah. The only thing is, I don't think Seth is that great on the mic, so he can't entertain me. All he can talk about is passion. My passion for wrestling.
That's what all baby faces can do, right? Like,
Yeah, but you got to have some other entertainment level that you can achieve, like Austin Rock. If you want to be the man, if you expect people to pay $600 for a meet and greet with you.
right. I see your point.
Is that how much it was?
If you want, it's $600 Canadian plus fees, so I think probably about $450 US dollars.
Okay.
That would be a photograph, an autograph, and a 30-minute Q&A with 25 other people in you. For $450.
Man, better press
For
on.
Seth freaking Rollins. I mean, I pay that for The Rock, but Seth Rollins, no thank you.
Man, ain't nobody paying 2 car payments for that.
Nope.
Yeah, I
Same
can't
thing.
fuck you
Same
at the
thing.
airport.
Yeah, same thing for Becky and same thing for Kofi. And I
Sorry.
think that's what people are slamming him because those are not. I mean, WWE puts them as their top stars, but in reality, I don't think people view them as top stars.
No, they're not, like you said, Rock or Stone Cold level.
Nope. So we'll be back in a minute, and we're going to talk about kind of the after results of Extreme Rules, and we'll talk about Raw and SmackDown and the road to SummerSlam.
Hey, this is from the podcast. And listen, man, this is day 100. I've been keeping these audio recordings every day. Day 100. You might say day 100 of what? Day 100 of no Sasha Banks showing up, man. I'm trying to just be okay, man. I'm trying to get over it. I'm cool. Ah! I'm cool, man. I'm really cool. I'm not gonna get upset about it. I thought she was gonna show up yesterday, man. It was the perfect time for her to show up, and I just don't know what happened. I mean, Nikki led us last week on Raw when she said she should get her a friend that cares about her, and I'm sure I'm not the only one that thought that she was gonna show up. I thought she was gonna show up, man. Sasha, where are you? This is day 100. We haven't seen you yet. Sasha, come on. I'm cool. I don't know what everybody thinking about, man. I'm cool. You know, I go to work. I tell people, man, look, I'm cool. I'm cool. Yeah, I'm cool, man. It's just one of those things, man. I really don't know what's going on. I mean, 100 days. Can y'all imagine that? 100 days with no Sasha Banks. I mean, it's almost like she's fading away from our memory. I really don't know. Sasha, come back! Please come back! Sasha, we need you! I keep telling everybody I'm cool. Don't ask me again. I'm cool. I mean, people just keep looking at me weird, like I'm just some weird dude. I don't understand what's going on. I really don't. Listen, I hope that this recording don't get out to anybody, especially the other 2 people on the podcast. You know who I'm talking about. And yeah, they can never know. They just can never know. I don't know how I would look in front of them if they found out that I was making these recordings about Sasha and coming back. I mean, Sasha, please come back. I don't know what they're gonna do if they find out. So they can never find out. Nobody can never find this out. Hopefully, I just want to keep these, man, because it helps me to get these thoughts out of my mind about her maybe never coming back. Who knows? That may happen. Maybe she never turns heel on Bayley. Maybe she never has that SummerSlam or WrestleMania match with Becky Lynch. Maybe she never feuds with Becky Lynch. Maybe she never becomes a superstar on SmackDown. Could y'all imagine that? That could happen. But Sasha, you need to come back if we ever going to see these things. Your fans miss you. We do. We really miss you. But we really do miss you. I mean, we really do miss you. Like, we really do miss you. I mean, I don't think they understand. We really do miss you. I mean, you please, Sasha, come back, please. Ah! I'm cool, but psst, nobody can find out, okay? All right, I'm gonna sign this off, and hopefully next week this won't be day 107. Let's see if that happens. Peace out.
All right, welcome back. Now, this week on Raw and SmackDown, and they certainly jumped into the road to SummerSlam this week. Basically, on Raw, we have a couple matches set up. I know there was a lot of drum roll, dun 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 dun, on who, now that Brock Lesnar has the Universal title, who he was going to face at SummerSlam. Now, JM, Duke, they had the 10-man cross-brand battle royale to determine the number one contender. How surprised were you?
0.
Look, I would say, the winner of that match was Seth Rollins, but I had a 30% feeling that Roman Reigns was going to win. I got sold into that match was because if Roman Reigns wins, that means there's a potential of Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns, a straight up, which we've seen a little bit of, but a straight up heel versus babyface to be the Universal Champion. When Seth Rollins made his initial comeback after his initial knee injury, about a month or two, Reigns versus Seth Rollins, and that match ended up at Money in the Bank being one of my favorite matches. Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns, Money in the Bank. I think if you have not seen that match, you should go watch it, because that match had a great spot. So I was hoping that they were setting up maybe a Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns feud. Seth Rollins versus Brock Lesnar again. And I know you guys were kind of disappointed about that. I'm just like, I like it, because this is going to be the first time where we finally officially get a babyface Seth Rollins in the ring with Brock Lesnar in a one-on-one fight, no shenanigans. And what do you guys think about that?
The match on paper, like you said, should be a straight up match finally that we get between them. The match on paper seems nice. It's just that I just don't want to see it again. I don't know why. I want to see Seth go at it with somebody else. I don't want to see this again. I already have who I want to see face Brock Lesnar, and that is Bobby Lashley. That's what I want to see. Something we have not seen yet. They could have done that. Do something new. We've seen this before. That's just my problem.
Yeah, and I think even though Seth hasn't wrestled Brock Lesnar that much, they've been on TV together so much.
That's the problem.
Talking to each other all the time, especially that chase in WrestleMania. And now we're going to hear Seth talking to Paul Heyman and Lesnar over week after week and week. I'm just sick of the three of them on the screen together.
You know what, Yeeski? That's my problem. It ain't the match. You're right about that match, Omar. It's going to be a good match. But it's the build-up. We seen, like you hit the nail on the head. Too much talking with Seth and Paul between them two, like we did to the WrestleMania. You have hit the nail right on the head. That's what I'm tired of.
And the craziest thing about that match is that they set it up so the final four was Randy Orton, of course, Seth Rollins, Braun Strowman, and Roman Reigns. And at one moment, I think they had dumped Randy Orton through the middle ropes, and it was just Seth
Braun and Strowman.
And when I saw that, I was like, "Oh, brother, I don't want to see any of those three win."
Yeah.
And then Randy Orton came in and teased the fact that he might win, and then I got excited, and then I got disappointed again when Seth dumped him out. So I mean, that's bad when I'm looking for. I mean, Randy Orton just comes and goes, but I was excited to see Randy Orton potentially face Brock at SummerSlam. It would have been my most exciting match out of the final four, guys.
Yeah, like we had Randy Orton versus Brock Lesnar. What was that? SummerSlam? 2016?
Yeah, probably 2 years ago, 2017.
2017. But even then, we didn't get the full match out of that because they only planned on giving us 5 minutes, and then the ending kind of got botched to where Randy got hurt. So I kind of want to see like an actual match between the two, especially since they've been giving Brock Lesnar way more time than they used to.
Yeah. And plus, he's got that RKO that he technically, remember, he teased it really well, where he came running in with RKO, Brock Lesnar could go running out of the ring.
Yeah.
So as long as he's got that RKO, and I mean, even now, if KO ever faces him with the stunner, it gives you like a lot better feel because kick wham stunner, RKO out of nowhere, those two things can both put Brock down.
Nah, that's what I would love to see.
Yeah.
KO and Brock Lesnar.
Last time we saw that was a KO got like 5 sentons off the top rope just to get F5. So I don't know if I want to see that.
Well, but he's got the stunner now.
Yes. And those
He
promos
practiced.
with them too, him and Heyman.
Oh yeah, that would be dope.
Now, the other match that was set up there was a number one contenders 4-way elimination match between Natalya, Naomi, Alexa, and Carmella. And this, well, I know we don't have a "this is garbage," but the fans called it "this is garbage, this is awful" moment of the night. And watching it, even though my favorite Alexa Bliss was in there, I have to admit, it was awful.
What?
I mean, you had the 10-man battle royale. They ran through all the spots in 8 minutes, and yet for these 4 ladies, they put them through a 25-minute match with a lot of rest holds, 2 commercial breaks. What else were the fans gonna do? I mean, you can't pack them. I mean, with those 4 girls, the other problem was all 4 of those ladies were kind of losers in my book because Natalya hasn't been on TV for a while. Carmella hasn't won anything in a while. Naomi hasn't won anything in years. And then Alexa's lost her last couple of pay-per-view matches. So you had a group of losers face off against each other to determine the best loser, the biggest loser.
You have 4 world women's champion in the ring at the same time.
No. Naomi,
Yeah, Alexa Bliss, the first time ever went Raw Women's, SmackDown Women's champion. Your personal waifu, Naomi, the woman to dethrone Alexa Bliss, I think, get over on a great gimmick and still get positive reaction from the WWE, even though she's not on TV as much. And Naomi, I can't think of his name right now. Neil Hart.
Natty?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. What's Natty's dad name again?
Oh, Jim Anvil
Jimmy.
Neidhart.
Jimmy the Anvil Hart. Okay. Yeah.
And what is your point? I mean, 25 minutes. Did you watch all 25 minutes?
Yes. And I thought the match was great. But don't get me wrong, it wasn't no 5-star, 4-star match, but it was at least a solid 3-star match. Like
That was not a 3-star match.
That's not a 3-star match.
yeah, okay, so you telling me when Naomi did the one thingamajig and Alexa Bliss took that as an opportunity to get a pin on both of them, that wasn't a nice moment?
Naomi had maybe 1 or 2 moves in there that was nice. But as Yeeski said, 25 minutes, bro. Are these the 4 women that you would give 25 minutes to?
Yeah.
Did they give 25 minutes to? Was that triple threat match at WrestleMania with Sasha, Becky Lynch, and Charlotte 25 minutes?
I think so.
No, that was like 18.
No.
18, 21.
So if we want to talk 4 women you're going to give a 25-minute match to, these 4 are not it. And listen, you can take it for what it is. Obviously, they excellent talents. But when you're in, Nassau, right? New York. Nassau, Long Island, New York fans. And these are the 4 that you give a 25-minute match to? You set yourself up for failure. Now, the crowd is wrong for saying this is awful. Okay? We just going to set that straight right now. They should have never done that. However, do I agree with them? Secretly, yes. Because the match was not good.
Formed on Yeeski and JM. I feel like I jumped the gun and signing a contract with these 2. I'm asking for my release.
No, you locked in, baby. We ain't letting you go. We like Vince. Vince ain't gonna let you go either. We ain't letting you go. We're gonna sign you for 5 more years.
I'm asking for my release. Am I able to do any other podcast?
No. You got a non-compete clause within your contract.
You
I
know,
can't even make an appearance or somebody else's.
Duke, after hearing you call that a 3-star match, we may have to send you a doctor's note to go see the optometrist.
Yes, before you can come back, please give us your optometrist results, and then you come back.
First of all, y'all gotta give me some insurance money. I don't get no kind of stability. I'm a millennial too, so like, how am I supposed to live off this $2.50 I get from this podcast every week?
Ramen noodles, man. Don't you know? Come on, man. High blood pressure and everything.
Get you so far, just like this match only got us so far. So let me ask you guys this: if you guys could replace anybody with anybody in this match, who would you replace it with?
Well, I got one person, but I'm gonna not name her name. That's for sure. But I mean, I haven't really. Natty is. I think I like heel Natty better. And she is obviously a technician in the ring. I don't know if I mind Natty at all. Obviously, Naomi, I like her as a heel better too. She's very athletic, but she's just dull as a face.
He talks like every black woman should speak as a not that that's wrong for me to say. She speaks very
easy.
yeah.
Easy now.
Like her character is basically like, I'm your fun older sister from the hood. Like, see, who do you know goes out there and say, I'm a snatch you ball? Nobody but her. Like, I think stuff like that she does just for the African American culture, that she takes out of the African American culture and puts on live TV. Maybe I'm just a sucker for it, but that's just great.
It is great, but it sounds forced.
What?
It sounds forced when she says it. When she talks, it sounds scripted all the time. Okay. Now that when she says that, maybe not, but when she cuts a promo, it sounds like she's reading from a teleprompter. I don't know if that's how she sounds in real life. I haven't watched Total Divas or nothing when she was on there. I really don't know how she sounds when she's just having a regular conversation. But it just sounds like she's reading from a teleprompter.
Yeah. And you know what? That's a good point because I'm not going to sit up here and lie because I do like Naomi. That is something that she deals with. It's that whole natural feeling.
Yeah. Not doubting the skills in the ring. The girl is athletic as I don't know what. And in that match, she was the most athletic person in that match. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. And she's one of the most athletic in the whole entire locker room. Mm-hmm. So, not doubting the athleticism or nothing like that. It's just like the character, man. I prefer Team Bad Naomi, personally.
And Team Bad Naomi wasn't on TV.
Good point. Good point.
Well, I would have. I mean, just throwing Nikki Cross in there, Lacey.
Yes. Yep.
Oh,
yep.
There's no reason. There's no reason why she shouldn't be in. And if there was not really a wild card, why don't Charlotte show up too?
Yes.
Or someone just show up. It didn't make any sense.
But Lacey Evans needs to be kept away from the women's title for the next 2 years. She's been in the women's title scene for 2 years. It's only been about 4 months.
Well, she doesn't actually have to win the match. Just be in the match and replace. I don't know.
I got too much anxiety of seeing her anywhere near a title scene.
I would have brought up Shayna Baszler and put her in.
Ooh. Nah, you can't go wrong with Shayna.
But she still got that NXT belt, so.
Yeah.
World champion like Kevin Owens?
Yeah. But see, that's something that's more WrestleMania than SummerSlam. If you're going to do that, that's the road to WrestleMania when you do that.
Exactly.
Now, are you looking forward to the Becky versus Natalya matchup at Mania? As I've been dogging both of those, you will not see any Huranas. You will not probably see any top rope moves. You may see second rope leg drop at best. So, I mean, not to jump ahead.
Shoulder block from the top rope, maybe.
Yeah, I watched the short little match between Liv Morgan and Charlotte from SmackDown today, and in just a minute and a half, I saw more athleticism from Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan than Becky and Natalya combined.
Okay, I'll tell you this. I'm looking more forward to the promos between them two and the Twitter interaction than the match. Because I was sold on the match because of what they did after she won, and the interaction between them two on the mic was exciting. That's what I'm looking forward to more than the match. I mean, I don't really know how the match is going to be. We all know what Natty bring. We just said she a technician. She come from the Hart family and all that good stuff. We know that about her. Becky is Becky in the ring. It's not going to be a 5-star match. For sure. We already know that.
I don't think Becky Lynch is 5-star match. Honest.
No.
Yeah, like, I think the most you can ever get out of her is a 4-star, and that's a very hard 4 stars to pull out.
Yeah, and that's the reason why Charlotte was in that made it a triple threat match at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
In hindsight, WWE knew what they was doing. We all was mad about it, wanted it to be Ronda Rousey and Becky Lynch, but they were smart by putting Charlotte in.
Yeah. So is Vince McMahon really a genius?
Of course he is. He's just got some other tendencies that we don't like.
Well, the next part of his genius was finally the unveiling of Bray Wyatt, as he basically attacks Finn Balor after he was defeated by Samoa Joe, and he gets the Sister Abigail, and then they show his weird little mask on his face, a scary mask, and then my son says, "What is that?"
Everything about that was perfect timing, man. Perfect timing. Everything they did. The music slowed down. The fan in there, all that stuff.
The glitches in the computer screen, or was that just the cameraman botching?
Now, so it looks like this is another match that's going to be set up for WrestleMania or for SummerSlam. If we recall, just last year, Finn Balor defeated Bray Wyatt last year's SummerSlam. So does the slight repackaging of Wade Bryant make you excited for the rematch?
Yes.
So I'm hoping that Finn brings back the Demon Balor and then finally lets Bray Wyatt beat that one and get that moniker off his back.
I agree. You cannot have Bray cannot lose. That's number one. Can't. Finn can take that pin.
Yeah. Finn is like probably the best person to get a decent win on.
Yeah, he could take that pin. And then what you do is you take that pin, right? You get mad, you Bullet Club. Or the club, I'm sorry. The club.
Yeah.
The invite from AJ, or does he just invite himself?
Well, you just have them hang around, be in the back. They start that whole thing where they see him. They too sweet him, and then you get the internet rumors going.
Well, but he is taking a 2-month hiatus after SummerSlam.
Well,
for his vacation, so he can come back after.
Yeah, if you're taking a 2-month hiatus, then you're away from TV. He come back, somebody in trouble. Think you about to help him? Nope. Club.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens with Wyatt and Balor at SummerSlam. So now let's move on to tonight's episode of SmackDown as we continue to look at the road to SummerSlam. So tonight it furthered they haven't announced it yet, but it really certainly looks like it's going to be Shane versus KO at SummerSlam. How excited are you to see this? I know they feuded last year or a couple years ago. But now the roles, but now the roles are kind of reversed, where KO's the babyface, Shane's the bad guy.
I actually think it's going to be a good match. I'm looking forward to that. I know what I said about Shane being on TV too many matches, but I think it's going to be a good interaction between them two. I think it's going to be a good match.
So y'all think this is going to be a good match, but you don't think? No, I'm joking.
Now this is going to be at least a 3-star match.
Yeah, like I saw those two live at the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view, and they got great chemistry together. Kevin Owens is great. He's one of my favorite wrestlers. Shane McMahon is underrated. I really think that if they are lazy out there, it's going to be a 3-star match, be a 4-star.
Well, my only concern is going to be run-ins galore, because as tonight, well, if you didn't watch SmackDown, the end, Shane brought all the heels of SmackDown to surround the ring.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, as you look at it, most of those guys aren't going to have a match at SummerSlam. So, if he wants to keep him busy, I can picture a lot of guys running in to help out KO, and even people he called out for, like AOP, where they're still helping Shane, even though they're being held back by him.
Nah, that's ironic.
So we'll see. I was actually looking forward to when the heels surrounded the ring. I was expecting a Stunner City to happen, but instead we just got one stunner to Shane.
Oh,
and I was expecting each of the heels to run in one at a time and do like what Austin did and stun 13 people in like 15 seconds, but not quite. I think KO needs a little work on the stunner. Because the stunner he gave to Ziggler did not look very good. And the stunner he gave to Shane was like a delayed reaction on the stunner.
Yes. Like Stone Cold said, you got to put some stink on it, son. Yeah.
So, I guess we'll see what happens at SummerSlam. Another match that's set up we'll go with the women's tag team title match. Well, it's not set up, but it's pretty obvious. It's going to the Kabuki Warriors cashed in on their opportunity to face the champions, the Iconics, and of course the Iconics lost by countout, so they retain their title. So what it looks like is going to be the Kabuki Warriors going after the Iconics and finally getting their real match, I'm guessing, at SummerSlam.
That should be a squash match. Sorry, Iconics. I love you. I really do. I love the dynamic between you two. Always entertaining on screen. Always looking forward to seeing you on WWE programming. But that should be a squash match. It is Asuka and Kairi Sane. Come on, man. Really? That's no competition right there in the ring. Zero.
Asuka literally beat up both Billie Kay and Peyton Royce on NXT at the same time. So
yeah.
And even in that minute 35 seconds they had today, it looked like a squash because they were pulling off the Kabuki Warriors were doing their tag team moves one after the other on those two girls, and they just looked completely helpless. So I'm hoping maybe they throw some other tag teams in there just to make it a little more even. So maybe a 4-way tag team, or make a TLC tag team match. Put a Bliss and Nikki Cross or some other tag teams in there just to liven that match up. Because that match can't last more than 5 minutes.
No.
They go one-on-one. So now going on to the other match that's been set up. So we had a tag team match with Ember Moon's been teasing her secret partner against Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville. And basically out comes Bayley. They properly squash Mandy Rose and Sonya. And then after the match, Bayley's like, who do I want to face? Oh, wait a second. Oh, Ember. Hi, Ember. Let's wrestle at SummerSlam for my title.
The slander, man.
That's basically what she did, man. I was disgusted. You understand? Disgusted. I see you over there, Ember. Yeah, you want to wrestle me? Yeah, we'll be friends and we'll have a nice match at SummerSlam. No heat between us, just two smiley face, baby face going at it in a match.
And as stupid as this sounds, right when I forgot who the host was gonna ask, well, how about that? I still expected the boss's music to kick on.
Dude, who are you telling?
I was like, wait, is this a joke? No, they just set the match up just like that.
Yes, they did.
Oh, the second biggest show of the year. Do you want to wrestle me? Do you want to face my belt?
I think they trolled the fans on that one with that whole thing, because everybody thought that it was going to be Sasha.
So they better go to Toronto, take their posters down, scrub out Sasha, and put Bayley or Ember Moon in her spot.
See, you got me mentioning that name again. I said I wasn't never going to mention it. As a matter of fact, as of now, she's defollowed. You understand? Defollowed. Dunsky.
And
I need proof.
Oh, I'm sorry. Unfollowed is the right term. Unfollowed.
And I think the most amazing part is that Charlotte was in that ring no more than 5 minutes prior. So that meant she was still in that backstage area when Bayley was offering up her championship opportunity to people. And Charlotte didn't even bother to come out and say, hey, what about me?
Nope.
What about me?
So let me ask you guys this. One of the things we all have bad as fans is that we jumped the gun too fast. We jumped the gun too fast during the whole Becky Lynch versus Ronda Rousey situation, because we was all upset, but it ended up working out in the long run.
Yes.
So what if they're setting up some kind of heel turn or something exciting gone too soon on the whole situation? So, for example, what if Bayley decides to pull out a tombstone power driver table on a set of steel chairs, and we're just jumping the gun too soon on calling it not that great of a decision?
talking about Ember Moon?
On Ember Moon?
On Ember Moon, yes.
That would be awesome.
Yeah. I don't think our problem is the match. It's how they just matter-of-factly just randomly set it up.
Okay.
Yeah. Ember Moon is a great talent, and I'm a fan of Bailey's. And if she turns, dude, how awesome would that be for them to have a gentleman's match, and then they go to hug, and all of a sudden Bailey turn on her, bro? You talking about the next Becky Lynch-esque rise on that?
Yeah, and it would have made more sense if like Ember Moon wrestled Charlotte or someone ahead of it to kind of make it look like she earned her spot.
Yeah.
I mean, in the match she did get the pinfall win, but that was because Bailey did belly to Bailey on Sonya Deville. So then Manny Rose is just hobbling around the ring, the Eclipse. So if you had done something that would make it seem worthy, I mean, the fans wanted it, so they set it up that way so the fans would start cheering for Ember because she was still standing in the ring while they're interviewing Bailey about who her opponent would be. But if they just gave us some credence that Ember was worthy of that spot or had done something to really earn that spot, I mean, maybe she could. I mean, she'll probably ramp up that match and make it exciting, but just the stuff is the start is a little rough, in my opinion.
Okay.
Yeah, and then even like yeah, and then even like they're setting up the Kofi match. I mean, they had Elias, Samoa Joe, and Randy Orton all come out and kind of stake their claim to why they should be the number one contender. And of course, they didn't resolve it yet, but then they each have their little spots in that match. Their the 6-man tag match to kind of show them why they should have been the one worthy of that spot. So you had Samoa Joe, Coquina Clutch put Kofi to sleep, or is it? I think it was Kofi. Yeah, and then you have Randy Orton RKO. Was it Xavier? No, he RKO'd. Who did Samoa Joe put to sleep? He must have put to sleep. Must be Xavier. Oh. Samoa put someone to sleep, and then Randy Orton RKO'd. He RKO'd Kofi at the end of to win the match. Oh. So you got. I mean, at least do something that makes you credible, worthy of that type of match. So, yep, RKO and Orphe, and yep, and then yep. Oh no, yeah. Samoa Joe choked out Xavier, and then Randy RKO'd Kofi. So, well, we'll see how it goes up. So we gotta get some matches set up for SummerSlam. So we'll see how these matches play out and how the card clears up a little bit more going forward.
Yep.
So as of right now, on a scale of 1 to 10, how excited are you for SummerSlam?
5.
5, and that's Mr. SmackDown.
Yeah, and you know what? That's probably as high, if not lower, than what we gave to or Extreme Rules.
Yep.
And we know how they delivered. So,
but we got a whole good month ahead of us.
Yeah, they got
time.
So, yeah.
Yes.
Might get some Shakespearean storytelling.
Good.
But I got a question. What was that you brought an announcement about tonight?
He didn't make
one.
What was that whole email about? Vince, don't be emailing me some false advertisements.
He jumped the gun.
He came out, walked back, came back out, walked back, came back out, walked back.
Then
and
he dropped the mic.
And then Samoa Joe came out, and then they moved on to the next segment.
What?
So, New Day was running down.
And that's when I stopped watching SmackDown. After that. Because I said you made a big hoopla about some announcement all over Twitter on your WWE account. Everybody speculating what it's going to be. You got polls out, all these podcasts saying what's up. And this is what you do. You walk him out 3 times. He drops the mic and leaves. That's what you wrote in for that? So once I seen that, that's the last thing I seen on SmackDown tonight.
just like the last thing you saw on Sasha Banks' Twitter was you unfollowing her.
Yes, there's your proof. You got your proof?
Well, you know
I
what?
got my proof.
Wait a second. You know what? He's just sending us now, and then as soon as we close off, he's gonna click that follow button.
Right. I'm gonna have to go through your following list to verify
Or, you know what?
days.
No. And then he's gonna create a burner account to follow Sasha.
They're gonna be like, how you know that? I'll be like, what? Huh? How you know that about Sasha? What?
All right, so
The
we'll be
G1
back.
Climax. Oh, I'm sorry. Before we go up break,
So-
G1 Climax just had a pop-up low blow. First time I ever saw that. I
A
approve.
pop-up low blow.
Yes.
Like he popped him up like a pop-up power bomb, but then low blowed him?
Like, how do you even protect yourself from that? And at the same time, who thinks of that? So, yeah.
Oh, so he pushed him up like a European uppercut, but just uppercut down there.
Yes.
Oh, no, he did it with his legs, though.
Oh.
He did the low blow with the leg instead of his arm.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Wow.
All right. Well, we'll see how long this lasts. Of JM not following Sasha. You know what? I may just slide into that account and just follow her back again, and then we'll frame JM for tweeting to Sasha every day. Please come back. Please come back.
Yes.
So we'll be back in a minute with our final comments for the week.
This is garbage.
Bro, get him out of there! Oh, Sammy's in there! Get him out of there! Don't let him do this! Sammy's in the dumpster!
Oh my god!
Yo, this your boy, JM, Fickle Fan Podcast, and guess what? That's right, Duke. I'm taking over your segment for the week of the This is Garbage. Yes. And my This is Garbage moment of the week, you already know what it is. I kind of alluded to it already. And the This is Garbage moment of the week is the doggone reunion that they're supposed to be having this coming up Monday. I mean, can we please get past the attitude era of WWE? I mean, we're going to see some old dudes get in the ring, and it's like we have new talent that is on the roster right now that needs to be displayed. I don't want to see Undertaker. I don't want to see, and as much as I love Stone Cold and The Rock and these wrestlers that I grew up watching, there are legends in the game. Nobody is discrediting any of that, but you have people that you need to be getting over right now. And so hopefully that's what they're going to do, because I do not want to see what I saw a few WrestleManias ago when Stone Cold and it was that Mick Foley and I forget who else they had in there came in and buried a couple of the younger talents. We don't want it. I don't want to see that, man. I really don't want to see that. And so why would you have this 2 weeks after your Extreme Rules pay-per-view anyway? It's like you could have picked a different time to have this, but yet here we are going back to the well at the Attitude Era yet again, and now we're going to see these dudes in the ring. It's like, I don't want to see that. Please build your new wrestlers. You want to know the reason why these people can come back and get in the ring like that and people pop for them like Stone Cold and The Rock? Because they built them up like that. Who among the new talent in another 15, 20 years or another 50, or just say 10 to 15 years are going to quote unquote come back to the WWE, and people are going to want to see them like these guys? I can't name you one wrestler right now. And so herein lies the issue. We need new people to be built up. Okay? New people. And I'm still trying to figure out again, what is the thought process of them doing this 2 weeks after your pay-per-view? How does this fit in at all? How is this fitting into the storylines that's going on? So just a little garbage moment for me. It's like, dude, why are you doing this right now? Like, what's the purpose of this? Is this going to help people towards SummerSlam? Are you going to help your younger talent towards SummerSlam in doing this? I just think that it's just such garbage for them to do this right now, and I'm just tired of seeing these dudes come back and just do for what? You done bought up almost every talent in the whole world, and you got them sitting in the locker room and catering and stuff like that, doing nothing, but yet you want to bring Stone Cold back in for a couple of stunners. It's like, come on, bro. Like, really? So that right there, this week, that's my "This is Garbage." That's how you do it, Duke. All right, it's your boy JM, Fickle Fan Podcast. This is garbage. Peace.
All right, welcome back. So now we're gonna go around the table and have our concluding comments for the week. We'll start with you, Duke.
I just want to say shout out to all the women out there. You guys are amazing, talented athletes and performers. Dr. Britt Baker, I'm sorry that you got a concussion, but that's what happens when you don't wrestle for WWE and Vince McMahon. No, I'm joking. Please keep staying in AEW. And I want to say shout out to Naomi. My cohorts may not appreciate your talent and skill, but I do, and that goes for you too, Natalia. And Becky Lynch, you may not have the best or most exciting move list, but I still have faith in you as a performer. I just wish you would stop saying you're dope, because you sound like Homer Simpson when you say that. So yeah. If any single female wrestlers out there, just know you can follow me at Duke #Fickle Fan Podcast on Twitter. You can slide in my DMs, or you can make your DMs open to me. And I'm not saying that as dancer, but we can still dance. And but I don't got no rhythm. But you can still mess with me at Duke Fickle Fan Podcast, or you can mess with us at WWF_Anonymous, or you guys can check us out at YouTube with WWF Anonymous. I'm watching the outro, but
yeah, they know what it is. I just want to say, man, I'm excited about this state of just wrestling, the different options that we have. It's July now, so we got another 2 months or so for AEW to start their weekly TV show. You just got, you got New Japan going strong, you got ROH going strong, Impact looking for a new TV deal. They might, change to a channel actually people can find. So you got all that with WWE going to Fox, Bischoff and Heyman and Control. There's a lot of things going on in wrestling, so that if you don't like one thing, you can switch to another one for the time being. I still got heat people saying it's easy just to switch from WWE and just don't watch it, like you haven't been watching it for the last 20 years, like it's that easy. But that's another conversation. But as far as wrestling as a whole, man, it's as strong as it's ever been. Even during Attitude Era, WCW, WWF Wars, ECW, I think it's even stronger now than it was then, just with the options and just the different styles of wrestling and all that stuff. So props to the business, everybody in the business, like you talked about the women in the business, man. Props to all the female wrestlers, top props to all the people in WWE, AEW, every promotion around the world. Keep doing your thing.
Yeah. Like, we love y'all. We support you guys, and just watch out for shady cameraman that get a little bit too close to the female performers.
Yeah, get a little bit too frisky there, bro.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to fire him.
Yeah, man, please reprimand him. That I'm sure he get called into HR for that.
Yeah, like we don't really have an HR department. You just gotta wait at Vince's door all day.
Yeah, naughty cameraman. Back.
Exactly. But yeah, one of the things though, I kind of called this AEW. Cody Rhodes said, excuse me. That's what happens when I talk about AEW instead of WWE. But they always kept talking about how AEW is going to be an alternative to WWE, but he kind of, in his comments, trying to be the best show out there. And it just goes to show that nobody's trying to be an alternative to anybody. You either want to be the best or you just want to make a little bit of money. So I'm glad that AEW is finally owning up and they're not being PC about this whole company situation that they're dealing with.
Nah, man, come on, man. We know what it is. Of course they're going to try to take them down.
Yep.
Somebody got to do it.
And once again, he can't stop talking about WWE after his own pay-per-view. So.
Nope.
That's all I gotta say.
Yeah.
So the only thing I will talk about is that this weekend it's going to be about 97 degrees on Saturday, but I'm proud to report that my air conditioning is back working. So
Yeah.
Hey. Put that air
13 hours.
conditioner over.
13 hours to install it, but it's working.
Yes, so SummerSlam, we're going to be in the comfort of some air conditioning, correct?
Right.
Yes.
Yes.
I have some other things I got to fix, but I got a breaker panel open that I got to figure out a way to revise it. So I have Novi Greg coming here to help me on Thursday if we can figure out what to do.
Right.
So we'll see. We'll see how that.
The last shout out goes to you, Yeeski. You made us some grilled hot dogs, some hot dog broths.
They were not hot dogs. They were sweet. No, actually, they were spicy Italian sausages.
See, either way, they were pretty good.
Yeah, they were.
And I just want to say thank you for having us over for Extreme Rules. And I can't wait till you get your setup ready so that we can start bringing you guys more footage in the future.
Yep.
What was the last part?
Oh, that we look forward to. I don't know. I'm sleepy. It's 1 o'clock in the morning.
All right. Well,
He said we look forward to you getting your setup together so we can do more footage in the future.
setup. Oh.
Yeah, that's what I said. Thank you, Jay.
Okay. I was not sure exactly what you said. Okay. So that dryer that we took upstairs.
Yeah.
So I already got rid of it. So.
Oh, already?
I just got to get rid of that couch.
Okay.
That one's coming for you, Duke.
Yeah.
That helped me speed my progress up if you take that couch.
Yeah, we're going to have to talk about that.
All right. Well, that's a wrap for us tonight. So follow us at WWF_Anonymous or for Twitter, and for YouTube, it's just WWF Anonymous. And then we can also find us at Fickle Fans Podcast on Anchor Podcasting Network. This is Yeeski.
JM out.
Your boy Duke, one love, too sweet.
And we are out.
Like Sasha on Twitter.
Fickle!